Now, the FDA has confirmed reports that 2 containers of contaminated chicken were cleared at the Tema port, and its content are likely to be on the market or perhaps in a shop near you. The company, the company is called Whitestone Company Limited. They are the ones that imported those unwholesome products. But don't be scared, because a representative of the Food and Drugs Authority is here in the studio with all the required answers. Maureen Latte is head of Animal Products Department at the FDA. Ma'am, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now that you know and you have confirmed that actually this has been imported to the country, cleared from the Tema Harbour, where are they? Do we know where they are?
Yes, 2 containers were cleared as you indicated. FDA was involved in the clearing of one, not of the other.
Okay.
The first one that was cleared, FDA officers at the port realized that there was a foul stench emanating from the frontage of the container. So they had to get the veterinary service directorate officers also involved. They realized that it affected just the first 2 rows, but they picked up to the 4th and got all of them out and arranged for safe disposal.
Okay, of the ones that they had removed, which is the first 4.
The first 4 rows.
Okay, the first 4 rows.
Yes.
Right. So they
for the
removed
rest, samples were picked by the veterinary service directorate officers, and they were sent to the lab for analysis. Okay. The analysis confirmed that they were wholesome. So that's the rest of that consignment was cleared.
Okay. On what basis could they determine that this was contaminated food product? Just by smelling it, or is there any way?
It wasn't just by smelling.
How did they
Usually
determine?
We do physical examination. You smell, you touch, you feel, and then laboratory analysis. Samples were sent to the laboratory. Okay. So they were cleared based on the feedback they have from the laboratory.
Okay.
The laboratory results.
Now, I am a bit curious. Now, you're looking at a whole container full of chicken, and then you remove the first 4 rows, and then you think that the rest, or you want to assume that the rest are wholesome. But in just to be clear, by the way, you took samples, so we're not even sure if the sample that you took is representative enough of the entire container of unwholesome chicken.
The samples that were taken were representative enough of the whole consignment. Because in sampling, we have a method we use. You don't pick from just the frontage. You would have to go to the back and then have a representative sampling of the rest of the products in that container before you can analyze and be sure that the results that would come out would be a true reflection of what you are seeing.
So the first container, you say, was cleared together with FDA officials there. Then the second container?
The second container from the same company. The SEPS, FDA officers and veterinary service directorate officers realized that the container couldn't be opened. It's usually Gapoha that comes in to open. They couldn't open it.
Okay.
I think it was on a Friday, so they decided then they would get a welder involved to help in the opening on Monday. When the officers got to the office on Monday, they realized that the container had been cleared. So they had to follow up with the SEPS officials. And they were informed that it was cleared to the premises of the company. So they followed up there. Before they got there, they interacted with the clearing agents who informed them that the consignment had been sent to Techiman. Apparently, that wasn't true. Information they gathered at the premises of the company, their cold storage facilities, indicated that the consignment was there. They had to cross-check with the bill of lading and other documentation which accompanied the consignments for them to be sure that it was that consignment. But it had been offloaded into their cold storage facilities. Okay. Physical examination they did indicated that that consignment was wholesome. Physical examination, and they picked samples as usual. But we are yet to receive the laboratory analysis for that. So the consignment is still under detention.
How is it possible that a container, and we're looking at how many tons of chicken here? And that would be in the container, the second one, for example.
I think about 2,800 cartons or so.
2,800 cartons of chicken, that's a lot. And a lot of people eat chicken. So how are we? I mean, how does it happen that the second container was cleared in the first place? How? First of all, you wanted to break the seal on Monday, but before Friday, between Friday and Monday, when the FDA realized that it's already been cleared, can you explain what must have happened?
Well, FDA closed for work on Friday evening as usual, and because the container couldn't be opened, it was decided that they would get a welder involved to break the seal on Monday. So they went back to work expecting to see the container there, and they realized that it had been cleared to the premises of the company. So that's how come they followed.
Okay, so the FDA official, which must perhaps be your colleague.
Yes, a colleague.
And the clearing agent who lied to the FDA gave you wrong information.
Wrong information, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lie. It's a lie. Whichever way he wants to garnish it, it's still a lie. So the clearing agent lied to the FDA. The FDA official went there, perhaps couldn't wait to maybe deal with it for, on a weekend, which, I mean, looking at the public interest, looking at we're talking about food here, could have perhaps sacrificed a Saturday and then dealt with it. And I don't know if that happens within your organization. Then the company, which must have been aware about whatever is going on, these three people, what has happened to them?
Well, I wouldn't know what has happened to them. But point of question, FD also goes to the office on Saturdays.
Okay.
So that means the container wasn't moved on a Saturday. But we work on Saturdays too. Those are the ports.
Okay, so the container wasn't moved on Saturday?
No, because
but can you confirm that it was there on Saturday?
I don't know whether they checked, but they go to work on Saturdays too. I don't know whether they checked. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm finding it quite difficult to reconcile. Now, you have found the container. You followed up.
Yeah.
So you have found the container. You have found the chicken. You have taken samples to the lab.
Yeah.
You're waiting for the results. Today it's Monday. The day is almost coming to an end.
We were informed the results will be ready today.
Yes.
I checked in the morning. It wasn't ready. I'm sure by now it should be in.
In the meantime, what is happening?
The consignment is still intact. The consignment is still intact. So the consignment hasn't moved from the cold storage facility.
What is going to happen to? I understand, by the way, that this Whitestone company belongs to a member of the Council of State. What's her name?
We haven't confirmed because usually we don't deal with the personalities behind.
But you're
companies.
dealing with the clearing agent who must have documents that has her name. I actually have her name. It's just that it escaped me. It's actually out there in the reports that was put together by the Heritage newspaper.
Because we treat everybody fairly, no matter your political colours or status. We treat everybody fairly.
It doesn't appear to me so. I mean, maybe that's what ought to happen. But it doesn't appear to me, if you look at what has happened, it doesn't appear to be so that officials could move a container that the FDA officials have indicated we're going to check before it is moved. Obviously, you can't say that was, that there was no sort of power play there or that something wasn't being done to favor somebody there.
No, until the news broke in the Herald, we didn't even know who was behind it.
Okay.
Who was behind the company, because we treated it like any other company we deal with.
But the moment you realize that something has been moved, something that you were expecting to work on has been moved, that should have, sounded some alarm.
That was on Monday, and the head of the port quickly prompted steps. So that's what initiated the series of investigations that they carried out. Because for us, the public shouldn't buy or be fed products which are not wholesome. So for us, we had to move in and ensure that the product was intact. We even had to, after we received the information from the clearing agent, we even had to alert Brongahafo regional office. We had to alert them. Yes, so we did everything in our power to ensure that if it's unwholesome, then it shouldn't get out there.
So right now we're looking at a chicken that's seated somewhere waiting for you to confirm.
Yeah.
But at the moment, the previous ones are they selling?
The previous consignment has been released, so they are being sold.
Shouldn't you
they are wholesome.
But shouldn't you really be taking a second look at what Whitestone Company? Shouldn't you perhaps be putting some sanctions on them? They must have known that they were sending unwholesome products.
The second consignment, we haven't confirmed
Even
that it is unwholesome.
Very
Physically, it looks okay. Physically, but we are waiting for the lab results.
That makes me very concerned.
We do both physical examination and then send samples to the lab. We did the physical, it was okay. We have sent samples to the lab and we are awaiting results.
The moment they sent in a very first, let's not even talk about the second one, but the moment they sent a very first consignment and you had to remove the very I think any serious country, for example, would not allow any of that what's contained in that container to go out there on the am I wrong in assuming that any serious country would have taken it seriously, the fact that part of it is contaminated, and disallow the entire container or disallow the the rest to go out there to the public?
It depends on the level of contamination. If it's chemical, you can't do anything about that. If it's chemical and it's affected the whole batch, you can't do anything about that. And if the product was unwholesome before it got to Ghana, then the whole thing in the whole consignment in that container would have gone bad. The information we are gathering from our port officers was that the cold chain was broken at a point in time. You know, the reefer containers are in the reefer yard, and there are times you would have yours being unplugged. So that was what happened in this particular instance. So it wasn't like a chemical contamination or contamination which affected everything in that container. So that's how come we had to do the sorting. If it's the whole consignment, the whole container, we wouldn't have released it. We also consume.
Yes, well, I was going to bring you into it.
If you were,
yes, you would say that because
we also consume. I have my children out there. They also consume chicken in school.
But you will perhaps know what ought to be done. No. You are a specialist. This is your area. You know what food is wholesome. I will not know. My grandmother will not know. In fact, she will feed on it happily. So you would know, but we would not know. But that's why you were there to protect all of us.
That's why we are assuring you that there's no cause for alarm at the moment.
What does that mean exactly?
That's the part we have released is wholesome, it's safe. You know, of course, if it's anything, food or anything, drugs, anything which is taken in, any little information about it goes out there, and we understand. But we are here to assure consumers that we will not release any consignment which is unwholesome, because we also purchase, our children also feed.
I think Ghanaians would want a bit more than your assurance. That's all you have. Apparently.
That is
that's all you can do.
That is what we are paid to do. And that is what we are doing.
But if people see you and other responsible institutions, organizations come down heavily on this Whitestone Company. Now, as we speak, I'm sure that Whitestone Company is selling. They're selling. They're in business. It's business as usual. The media will make noise about it a few times. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it dies down. It's business as usual. What is going to happen to this company? Do you know? Is there any protocol like that in the organization?
If a company goes against, of course, the rules and regulations, they are sanctioned. So we are still investigating how it was cleared to their warehouse.
That's even the second issue.
We are still investigating how it was cleared into their warehouse, because there are other agencies involved. It wasn't just the company which picked the container and sent it. There are other agencies. SEPS was also interviewed this morning, and they also said they were investigating.
And we're making attempts to speak to SEPS. We actually had the assurance to speak to us. At the moment we're still calling. The lines are going through, so I don't know if any of you is watching us as SEPS. Kindly know that we're trying to call you. Please pick up our call so we can have a conversation about it and understand exactly what happened. But we're looking at Christmas in 2 months, less than 2 months, I think. Usually around this time we get a lot of imports. And all kinds of food, you know, will be on the market. To what extent, what is the strategy, FDA strategy, to make sure that the kinds of foods that are going to be imported are good enough and will not kill us perhaps slowly?
Usually from November to December, we intensify our post-market surveillance activities. We have a PMS department. But November, December, we all get involved. And we inspect warehouses, both dry warehouses and the cold storage facilities. So the usual checks we do, ensuring that the products have been well labeled, ensuring that the shelf life is still intact, there's English labeling, and then the general conditions of the products. So we do that. We do that to ensure that we flash out any products which are coming in to be dumped.
And you're going to start this in November?
Yes, we usually start from the 1st of November.
Okay, let me wrap up our conversation going back to the rotten chicken issue. What are the protocols? What happens within your organization when, for example, a clearing agent lies to you? What usually happens to people like that? Have you had such incidences?
No, we haven't. We haven't had any such incidents where a clearing agent will tell us something which is not the truth. No, we haven't. If the products had been moved without we knowing where it is, I'm sure by now we would have put somebody behind bars. Yeah.
But now we know where it is, but it doesn't still change the fact that you were misled. A whole state institution was misled by one individual who is looking to make profit at the expense of the lives of Ghanaians. Yes,
we have sanctions, and the management today. Management had a meeting on that, so management would decide. We have it varies. We have fines. We have jail terms. So management.
I think Ghanaians will prefer the jail term.
Management would decide what to do to this particular clearing agent.
Okay. I don't know, since you said it's been investigated, I don't know how far we can go with this conversation.
Investigations are not over yet. We are still on
but you see, one of the nice ways we are told, one of the nice ways to hide information or to stop people from following a particular information is to say we are investigating it, because once you do that, the matter goes to sleep.
No, the matter
we'll be sure to keep our eyes on
when we are through with it, we would come out and tell Ghanaians what happened and what we have done and the sanctions that
we'll be knocking on your doors. Actually, we won't wait. Thank you very much, ma'am, for coming through. I've been speaking with Maureen Latte. Maureen Latte is head of Animal Product Department at the Food and Drugs Authority. Well, you've heard her. Some way, somehow, boxes or a whole container, got moved from the ports, even though they had come, to the ports, took a look at it and decided that they would break the seal on Monday, before Monday. I mean, it looks as it's either happened on Saturday or Sunday. The container was moved, and then the clearing agents. Do you know the name of the clearing agent, by the way?
No, I don't have it offhand.
You don't
but
have it offhand?
We do know. I don't have it offhand.
Okay, we'll get it. So the clearing agents for Whitestone Company lied to the FDA about the whereabouts of the container of chicken, which we suspect is contaminated. That's serious indeed. So the name again is Whitestone Company. We understand it belongs to someone who is on the Council of State. We'll get you more details. We've been trying to speak as well to the Heritage newspaper. They put this information out there. We've not been successful at the moment. The SEPS PRO, Paco, also indicated to speak to us. We're unable to reach him at the moment.